Hey gang, here we are with Alfred's Essentials of Music Theory, Unit 8, Lesson 32. This is on page 51. Okay, in today's lesson we're dealing with the chromatic scale, okay? The chromatic scale is made up entirely of half steps in consecutive order on a keyboard. Therefore, it uses every key, black and white. When the scale goes up, it's called ascending. When the scale goes down, it's called descending. The chromatic scale may begin on any note. In a chromatic scale, there are 12 tones. Okay, so the C chromatic scale just goes from C, and it hits every single key. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. So it goes through all 12 notes from C on up to C, and you can see that here. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, and so on, all the way up to C. Okay? And then here it is descending from C all the way down to C. Now you'll note that it's a little bit different on the descent, right, with the accidentals, okay? So let's explain that. The ascending chromatic scale, starting on C, uses sharp signs. So when it's going up, you use all sharp signs, okay? And that's just to facilitate the ease of reading, right? You could go C, D flat, D, but flats tend to make people think of something going down a little bit. You know, like you're making a note from, you know, an A down to an A flat. So you always think of that as a note going down, whereas a sharp kind of indicates something going up. And then the descending chromatic scale, starting on C, uses flat signs. So here you're going to have flats on the descent, right? And that just kind of helps you remember that you're descending. The flats just are visually a little bit easier to read on the way down. Okay, an ascending chromatic scale starting on F looks like this. So this is just showing you that you don't have to start it on C. You can also start it on F. And it's the same thing. From F on up to F, use sharps, hit every note in between. Okay, so this would be F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and then there would be an F right there if the keyboard kept continuing. And then a descending chromatic scale starting on G looks like this. Okay, so now they're switching to G and we're in bass clef, and it goes from G on down to G in bass clef using flats on the way down. Okay, so let's get right into the exercises. What is the distance between each pitch in a chromatic scale? And the answer to that is a half step. Okay? Boom. Write an ascending and descending chromatic scale starting on A. So here we go. You got to hit every note in between. So we've got A, and you're going to go up to A sharp. Then we're going to go up to B. Then we're going to go up to C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, no, we're going to go F, F sharp, and then G, and G sharp. And then we're back up to A right there, okay? So now when you're descending, you're going to go down. So A, then A flat, okay? Then G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, because remember, from C to B is just a half step if you're looking at your keyboard, B flat, and then there we are back at A. So there you go. Write an ascending and descending chromatic scale starting on A. Hope that helps. Let's go on to number 3. Write an ascending and descending chromatic scale starting on B. So we're going to go B. We got a ledger line here. And for B, we're going to go B sharp. Nope, that's a C. B to C. then C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, and then we're up to B again. All right. This is actually a little bit difficult for me to like think this out because whenever I play chromatic scales, I'm not really thinking like F sharp, G. I'm just kind of like going up the chromatic scale. And a lot of times when you see chromatic scales in music, you're just like, oh, it's like A up to A, and then you just play chromatic A up to A. So it's not like you often sit there and read every single note in between. So I'm having to think a little bit here. Okay, write an ascending and descending chromatic scale starting on B. So now we got to go down. Starting on B. Now remember, you got to flat them on the way down. B flat, A. And it's okay to look at the keyboard if you want. I'm looking at the keyboard because for some reason my brain doesn't do this as easily as I would like it to. A flat, G, G flat, F, F flat, nope, that's an E, E flat, okay, then we gotta go to our D, to our D flat, then let's go to our ledger lines, our C, and then you're gonna hit your B, and you're back to where you once started. And that's how chromatic scales work. Some examples of chromatic scales. I always think of the circus song. It's not an exact chromatic scale, but the that's kind of a chromatic sound because that whole melody is just made up of half steps. Play a chromatic scale on a keyboard or on your instrument and you'll be like, oh, I've heard that before. So if you're not familiar with what a chromatic scale sounds like, give it a listen. And I hope you have a great day.